Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you another tool that I have created. It's a tool for use on a PC. It's for Windows 10 and 11, but it'll most likely work on others. So this is called Driver Saver. I'm at version 1.0 on this now. I might add more to it later, depending on if I can think of any other feature for it. But what it does, guys, is it goes in to your system and it will save all of your hardware drivers and put them in one spot. This can come in handy for, if you have something that's a legacy piece of hardware that's hard to find drivers for, or it overall just really makes, if you're going to format your Windows system, it makes it a lot quicker to set it up, a lot quicker and smoother after you format and want to get everything back in place. So again, called Driver Saver. We're at version 1.0. Link is down in the description below. I've got it on my MediaFire account right now. I really need to create a website so I can start putting all this stuff on, but that's what I got for now. So I'm going to go ahead and download this with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and hit download here. Oh, I've already downloaded it, so but I'm going to overwrite that just so you guys know that I'm running the same thing that you are. And let's go ahead and close that. This is the old extracted file, so I'm going to delete that as well, so you guys see it fresh from how I do it here. So we're going to right-click this, and we're going to extract all, and put it wherever you want. I'm just going to throw it on my desktop here. And we're going to extract. And this is what it gives us. Creates this folder here that's unzipped. And then you see everything that I have in here for it. So let's go through this step by step here. Let's actually start with release notes. I'll get to the instructions in a second, but go ahead and double click that. Let me pull this over here. Now the release notes basically just, tell you what it is. And it is a lightweight PowerShell-based utility designed to back up all third-party drivers from a Windows machine. It's useful for technicians, system rebuilds, proactive driver archiving, etc., etc. That's another thing, too. You can just run this and save those drivers for if you need them at a later date, So it'll give you all the features, and you'll see all these as we go along as well. And then the known limitations, it does require admin privileges to run properly, but I have written the script in a way to where when you run the batch file, it will run it as admin. So you really don't have to worry about that. This does only back up third-party drivers, not built-in Windows drivers. So, you say you install a piece of hardware, say you install an NVIDIA graphics card and install their drivers. That's considered a third-party driver. And then long file paths or restricted files may occasionally cause issues. That is a case on this, but you don't really run into a lot of those. So here's some planned features that you can kind of go through. I might go to where when it's done, it pops up an option to go ahead and zip it all up, and then add some logs and stuff like that. I haven't filled this in yet, so you won't see anything there when you download it. But let's go ahead and close this. Now let's look at the instructions, and I will go over the instructions with you as well. But this kind of gives you a brief rundown of how you do it. Just go ahead and read this at your leisure, but I'm going to walk you step by step here. So let's go ahead and close that. Now the batch file, as you see, Windows batch file, this is what you will double click to get the script going and to download those drivers. But I'm going to open this and show you that it's safe. So batch file, I'm just going to right click. I'm going to use Notepad++. And you can see in here, it's a simple batch script. There's nothing dangerous or malicious about this. It's not directing you to a weird, virus or anything like that. I don't play those games. But if you don't feel comfortable running it, please don't. If you do, then you'll see it's a cool little tool. So you can see everything in there, and I will show you everything in the PowerShell script here, because when you run this batch file, when you double click it, basically kicks the PowerShell script into gear. So I'm going to show you that. We're going to do the same thing, Notepad++. And if you just kind of look through here, I'm not going to go through line by line, But, examine it carefully. If you're suspicious, examine it carefully. Run it through something like ChatGPT or virustotal.com to see if it's malicious or not. I can assure you it's not. So I'm just full exposure here that you can see everything that I'm going to be running you through. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close these. And now the only thing, or the next step is to just run this. So again, you're going to run the batch file. So we're going to simply double click on it. And you will get this pop-up that just says, hey, Defender Smart Screen prevented this from running. And you just click on more info here. And we're just going to run anyway. And when you do that, it briefly pops up the command window back there. And then it'll pop up PowerShell. Now what this is for is it's asking you, hey, where do you want to save the outcome and all the files for the drivers? Where do you want to save your driver backup? And you can choose anywhere. You can go into your computer, choose any of your drives and paths. I'm just going to save mine right here on the desktop, and I'm just going to hit OK. Now, once you do that, it will start doing its thing. And we've noticed over here that this driver backup folder has created with today's date. It will timestamp it. That way, if you archive this or save it somewhere else, you will know the date that you actually backed those up. And so it doesn't, depends on how many third-party drivers. It doesn't and should not take too long on that. So we'll just go ahead and let that do its thing. In the meantime, if we go over here and we just double click and open this, you can already see where all these drivers have been saved to this location, the location that you have actually chosen. So with that being said, I will say that this only pulls like what Windows sees. So it will not come in here and it will not like rename everything. So you might not be understanding exactly what driver is what here. Now, there are some hints, like here's some Android stuff. Well, let's just go back here. So it'll tell you when it's done, the driver backup completed successfully, tells you where it is at and timestamps it or date stamps it. So we'll just click OK on this, and this PowerShell will drop out and go away once you click OK. So again, here's everything that it backed up, every driver, and you can just kind of scroll through. There are some hints like Logi is Logitech, so there's going to be some Logitech drivers, but you'll have to go through and kind of figure out what is what. Unfortunately, that's not something I can do in the script because it just pulls Windows names and Windows locations. And I really have no way in the programming to go in and say, hey, rename this to, such and such driver for video card. There's really no way to do that. It looks like this is NVIDIA. Like I said, there are hints, Oculus. So you'll just have to kind of go through and figure out what's what. But if you only need like one or two to reinstall these, pretty simple. Just double click on which one you need. And there will always be multiple files in here. And like this one, if you, this is the security catalog. If you right click, you've got some options. If you don't have install, that's not the install file. Those are generally right here, the setup information files. So you will just go in here and hit install, and it will reinstall this driver, whatever it is. It's obviously Logitech something. Now, you guys also know when you're installing drivers for something, so if you're going through your list and device manager and you guys are installing drivers, you can tell it to point to a specific location. If you just pointed to this folder here, wherever you choose to store it, it will thumb through all these folders for you and find the right driver. So knowing what Windows calls it really isn't that important if you just point it to this folder when you do that. So anyway, guys, that is a great way to back up all of your third-party drivers. I would even go so far as to recommend here's your backup of that. I would recommend just right clicking it, sending it to a compressed, and then just storing it somewhere, like on an external drive or something like that. I'm not going to go through that because I don't need to do that. I've already done it. But that would be an idea too. Zip it up and throw it on an external drive or on a cloud, if you have one of those, just to make sure you have your drivers. Anyway, guys, that is it. Again, the website is my MediaFire account. Link is in the description below. Tell me what you guys think of this. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. I know it's probably not super useful to a lot of people, but this channel is kind of geared toward just showing people how to do different things on a computer. So in that aspect, it's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, that is it. Leave me a like if you feel I deserve it. Subscribe if you feel I deserve it. And I will see you in the next video.